Welcome back, everybody. We're in our lovely one-bedroom stateroom, and so we wanted to talk to you a little bit about what it's like to sail Concierge on board Disney Cruise Line. Full disclosure, this is our first experience in Concierge, so your mileage may vary.
Right. There are experts. We are not the Concierge experts. There are definitely other folks who are experts.
And we have had them on our show, namely Chris in the Concierge Lounge out there has sailed Concierge many, many, many times, knows probably most of the concierges around the fleet. So I'm going to head back into our back catalog over on the podcast channel. That's where to go find the expert information. And I mentioned the podcast channel here specifically because for those of you listening to this as the audio-only podcast for a bonus episode this week, we are actually video recording this in our stateroom. There'll be some great visuals that we'll add into the video so you can kind of get a sense of things. So if you're interested in getting the more visual experience, head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DCLDuo to check out this video. So, Sam, I think you got to start the concierge experience at the very beginning. Now, this was a surprise for you, so you didn't have the interaction in the beginning, but Concierge on Disney Cruise Line starts pre-cruise with Shoreside Concierge. And so Shoreside Concierge is there to help you with all the stuff that you would normally book through the website when your booking window opens up. Concierge guests, regardless of their Castaway Club status, get to book things at about at the 120-day mark like Platinum, but they send their requests into Concierge starting at the 125-day mark. And those requests are sort of honored in the order that they come in. So Concierge guests know a trick to queue up an email to send at like 12:01 a.m. on the 125th day out. And then they send the email off to Concierge. And basically those requests, so things like if they want adult dining, if they want spa treatments, if they want particular dining rotation on board, perhaps port adventures, all that sort of stuff, they can send those requests in an email to the Shoreside Concierge. They load that into Disney system at 120 days. Those requests get queued through the system, and then Platinum gets to book, essentially.
Right. And if you are going to Castaway Cay on your itinerary, that's the way to basically be guaranteed a cabana at either the Family Beach or Serenity Bay, the adults-only beach at Castaway Cay. This cruise does not stop at Castaway Cay. The original itinerary did, but the itinerary changed several months ago, of course, because of the pandemic. And so if this was a cruise that stopped at Castaway Cay, Brian could have put in a request via email to get a cabana. Even though we booked later, it's possible we would have been at the top of the list for cancellations.
Yeah, that's right. But we don't know about that experience because we're not on a cruise that stops at Castaway Cay. All right, so after Shoreside Concierge, like they do reach out, they'll ask you questions, things like that. But most of the time you just kind of get what you want. You can make other little requests along the way, and basically it's all handled over email. You don't have to call in to Disney Cruise Line. They take care of everything for you. So next step in the process comes at check-in. So at check-in, everyone has to they're racing to get their port arrival times, right? Concierge guests don't have to select a port arrival time. So concierge guests can do their check-in at their leisure. They can arrive whenever they want. We showed up at the earliest port arrival time available, which was 10:30 a.m. to the port. And that sort of kicks off then our port day experience, our priority embarkation at the port, which I'll say at Port Canaveral, they do have some special things. Here in New Orleans, it was a little bit muted in the priority embarkation experience in terms of, we did have a special lane for check-in. We didn't have to wait in line. We did have a special seating area where we could sit. But at Port Canaveral, they actually have like a full-blown lounge experience. And so it's a little bit different at Port Canaveral than it has been for us in New Orleans. But what did we also get at check-in, Sam, that we had to stick onto ourselves?
We got the coveted gold sticker, which basically is your way of letting the cast members know that you get to board first. So we're in the waiting area waiting for our test results. Once our test results from the COVID tests came in, we got to head into a different waiting area. And then once there were actually back-to-back cruisers that went on first, and then some new crew went on as well. And then Family of the Day was announced, and then concierge guests got to board first other than the Family of the Day. So we got basically the earliest boarding you could get unless you were sailing back-to-back.
So our experience with the boarding process was we were shuttled over from the concierge area to get our photo if we wanted in front of the backdrops. We went along the gangway, we were checked in. And then we were led into the atrium to do the pre-cruise show. I think most of the concierge folks were kind of put into the atrium for that. Mm-hmm. Full disclosure, our cruise has only like 720 people on board. So it's a very reduced size cruise. We were hearing stories of people getting free upgrades to concierge pre-cruise. So I don't think the concierge rooms were necessarily all booked up, although they may be now. But led in to do the pre-cruise show with Mickey and Minnie that they've been doing right now. And then the next step was different for us. We were led into Azure, the lounge, the adult lounge here on the Wonder, and they were helping us get our onboard app set up, connected to the Wi-Fi, making sure we could log into the app and all of that sort of stuff. And then we were led off to do our muster drill. So we were very much sort of kept together as a group, lots of hand holding and help along the way. If people were having their app, they had crew members there to help them out. And so that was a really nice experience as well. And then after we checked in at our muster stations, we went to a private concierge lunch that was held in Triton's. And so Triton's was closed to regular guests. Only concierge could be in there. And so we were actually, I think, the first to show up at Triton's. We walked in, we were seated, and almost immediately, actually, we were greeted at the door by one of our concierge hosts, Glenn, who then helped us get situated at our table. Our servers came, got us drinks, all that sort of stuff. And then Glenn wandered over and had his sheet of paper with all of our itineraries and bookings on it and said, is there anything else that you really want or need on the cruise? And we had some requests. We wanted to book the rainforest room, right? So key tip here for concierge is you do not have to interact with anyone on board from a cruise standpoint for getting things done other than the concierge.
Meaning no guest services, no spa, no restaurant. Folks, you do everything through your concierge hosts.
Yeah. And so he took care of getting those bookings while we were eating lunch, came back over to give us kind of the quick rundown on concierge that there's a special lounge on deck 10 of the Wonder, which we'll talk about in a second, that our rooms would be ready by 1:30 and that the regular staterooms would not be ready until about 2:30. On the Wonder, the concierge rooms are interdispersed with the regular staterooms. So he told us at 1:30, if you go up and the rope is still across the hallway, you just go under the rope and head straight to your room. It will be ready at 1:30. Our luggage showed up almost immediately when our room was ready. So you do get pre-boarding special luggage tags that have, Sam, do we have an example here? Yes, we do. They have, this is the symbol for concierge, those crossed Mickey keys. And so our luggage tag just had those crossed Mickey keys on it, and that signals to them, get this luggage there quick. So our luggage was ready, our room was ready all by 1:30. Glenn took care of everything we needed to have booked. And then waiting in our stateroom,
this handy dandy sheet that basically tells you everything you need to know about the concierge lounge and what times it's open, the names of the concierge team, how to contact them, and then at what time of the day are there food offerings in the concierge lounge, as well as when drinks, when there's complimentary drinks in the lounge.
Yeah, so let's talk about the lounge for just a second. There's a little bit more on this sheet that we'll get to, but let's talk about the lounge for a second. So up on deck 10 of the Wonder, there is a concierge lounge that overlooks the adult pool area right above Cove Cafe and one of the bars there. That lounge is open every day from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And at different points in the day, they have different drinks available. There's a happy hour with alcoholic drinks all included. Food throughout the day at different times, and that changes up. Access to free non-alcoholic beverages all day long. The same coffee machine that's in the Cove Cafe is sitting in the concierge lounge. So if you want that latte in the morning, you can just go up there and get one. We actually asked our concierge host if we could pre-order coffee, thinking they'd bring us down, one of the room service urns of coffee in the morning at 8 a.m. or that someone would. And instead, our concierge host showed up at the door with 2 freshly made Americanos. So that concierge lounge is just a quiet space. It's open to only those sailing in concierge. There's a key card at the door to get it open. So you can only go in there for your concierge, but it's just a quiet space. There's a sun deck up above on the Wonder.
It's really nice.
And so basically you go in there and it's just your own private little haven, and they have servers circulating to get you whatever you need or want. And the concierge hosts themselves are also up front to take care of any of your needs as you have them. So
and everything is nothing is self-serve in the concierge lounge. I think in pre-COVID times, you could just go to the refrigerator and grab a soda or a water or a sparkling water, whatnot. Now everything is gotten for you by the staff in the concierge lounge. So in addition to our 3 concierge hosts, there are other servers and staff within the concierge lounge that are there to assist you, whether it's to get a plate of food together for you, get you a drink, get you a soft drink, all of that.
Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about some of the other benefits in the lounge time. So in terms of the daily lounge offerings, our sheet here tells us that they serve a continental breakfast from 7 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. every morning.
It's pastries, that sort of a thing.
They have lunch snacks from 11 a.m. to 1:45 p.m. And again, snacks, these are small plates, but you can have as many of them as you
small
want.
bites, yeah.
Afternoon tea is served from 2:45 to 4:15. Again, small plates and tea.
But they're like afternoon tea sandwiches and scones as well. So it's the afternoon tea thus far my favorite.
And then from 5 until 8:15 is sort of happy hour in the lounge. That's when they open up the bar. You can get drinks. There's small plates of food. And then they do a dessert offering every night from 9 to 10. We have not been able to do the dessert offering, thank God, from 9 to 10, but they do dessert offerings from 9 to 10 in the lounge. Couple of other, they also highlight here that complimentary cocktail hours go from 5 to 10, so you can get cocktails anytime from 5 until 10 in the lounge for free.
Right, it's all included, and we're talking wine, champagne, beer, or mixed drinks, and they will make anything you want.
Like top shelf liquor here is what they have. You don't get to choose necessarily, you don't have a full selection, but the liquor that they are serving is kind of the high-end liquor. It's not well liquor, I'll put it that way.
Yep.
Couple of other benefits that you have sailing concierge. So for those of you who may or may not know, on your first day of sailing, you can get a 50 free megabytes of Wi-Fi from Disney Cruise Line offered only on day 1.
Each person.
On concierge, one person in the stateroom can get up to 100 megabytes of free Wi-Fi. So just a little bit of extra free Wi-Fi. The larger suites, like the Walt and Roy Disney suites, get free complimentary Wi-Fi throughout the cruise. The suite we're in, the 1-bedroom, does not. The 2-bedroom does not. The family verandas do not. But they do get the extra 50 free megabytes, which is a nice little benefit. Access to the sun deck, as we said. What other benefits have we experienced?
Well, basically on board, they'll get you whatever you want.
And since we let our first-class passengers do pretty much whatever they want.
For example, we are collecting the paper menus from each of the restaurants, and we did not go to Triton's last night for dinner because we were at Palo. And so we went this morning to our concierge host and asked if we could get a paper menu. He actually had a bunch on hand, handed us one. So that kind of a detail, instead of us going to the restaurant and finding someone to go find us a menu, you can request that of your concierge host and they will do those kinds of things for you. We had some issues with the app early on the cruise. Mostly Brian was having issues getting into the Disney app, the Disney Cruise Navigator app. And they spend, 20 minutes or 30 minutes with us trying to problem solve it, trying to fix it, that sort of a thing. So really, they just take care of your every want and need.
And they go over, if anything goes wrong.
Oh, yeah.
So we can, one of the, I'll just say, let's skip over to some of the added benefits of being in the suites.
Yeah.
So in the 1-bedroom suites, like right now, we're sitting at a very small dining room table that's in the suite. But in the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom suites and above, they can order hot Triton's breakfast into your room in the morning. And so what you can do is go the night before and fill out the sheet for what you'd like for breakfast and what time you'd like it delivered, starting at 8:30 in the morning because Triton's opens up at 8 or 8:15. And they will bring it to your room at that time. And when it says 8:30 to 8:45 on the form, it's 8:30. They're going to bring it to you quickly. We did that one day. We loved it. We had a early shore excursion the next morning. And so we wanted to get breakfast in the room so we could have it before we left. They were running behind. They were running, about 20, 30 minutes behind. So we called up to the concierge lounge about 15 minutes after it was supposed to arrive and just, breakfast isn't here. They were very apologetic, got on the phone, were calling us back. They're coming in 5 minutes. Food showed up. Everyone was super apologetic. Well, we come back later that day. They've given us $100 onboard credit for the inconvenience, which was totally unnecessary.
Right.
And then the dining staff had sent us a bottle of champagne to the room for the trouble. So
Prosecco, actually, but so fantastic.
They love to keep guests happy. I will say, if you're sailing in concierge, they want to keep you even happier because of the money you're going to spend, which is, I just want to say for a second, that is the downside of concierge. It is not for everyone. It is a luxury good.
Right. It
is an experience. You are definitely, I did not think Disney service could get any better with the regular crew staff. This is better. This is an elevated service experience. They do not want you to want for anything while you're on board,
Right.
Within reason.
One distinction I want to make about the breakfast, because anyone can order room service breakfast in the morning in any stateroom, but the only breakfast that's available for room service delivery is a continental style breakfast. So we're talking about cereals and pastries, toast, that sort of thing. You can't get the hot breakfast like eggs, waffles, that sort of thing, unless you're in the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or higher level concierge suites.
Yeah, and 2 bedrooms are only offered on the Wonder and the Magic. The Dream and Fantasy don't offer 2 bedrooms. They offer 1 bedroom, and then the Royal Suites is what they call them. The Wish will have the Royal Suites, the Roy and Walt Disney Suites, and a Tower Suite, and one. So it's they've got a lot more concierge categories on board the Wish. A couple of other just benefits of sailing in the suite. So if you're sailing in the Roy or the Walt Suite, you can actually order Palo into your room on board any of the ships. And so for folks sailing with kids who are under the age of 18 and can't go to Palo, that is a way for them to experience Palo in the stateroom. And we saw them serving the Roy Disney Suite one evening with Palo. So they will order that into your suite.
Oh, another benefit that just reminds me. So anyone sailing in concierge, when you're making your adult dining requests, you can make requests for more than one day. So for most guests, booking ahead of time, you can only book 1 dinner at Palo and 1 brunch at Palo. And same with Remy on the Fantasy and on the Dream. You can basically book 1 of each. If you are sailing concierge, you can get multiple reservations for multiple nights or multiple brunches. Now, other guests can do that on board if it's available, but concierge can do it ahead of time.
Yeah. Just last thing I'll say about concierge, everything is a little bit upgraded in terms of the amenities. So you get Elemis spa product in your room for, conditioner, shampoo, that kind of stuff. They still have the H2O product too, but they give you the little bottles of Elemis, which if any of you have bought things from the spa, know that stuff can get pricey quick. The linens are upgraded. So just everything is kind of upgraded.
Right. The finishes, there's a lot of wood paneling. The tile is a nicer tile. It's just like Brian said, an upgraded, slightly nicer finishes in the room decor.
Robes in your stateroom, which is not something that the regular staterooms have been getting of late because of COVID. So anyway, everything's just a little bit elevated. Last thing I'll say too is you don't have to go to the concierge lounge to interact with your host. You can call them over the stateroom phone. That works. They have added, if you're sailing in concierge, when you go to chat with a crew member in the app, there is a tile for chat with the concierge, and you're always number 1 in line when you chat with the concierge. And I've done that a few times, and they will say, "Oh, this is Glenn," or "This is Guillermo," or "This is Christina." So you've met them, you know them, they know you. You can sort of quickly interact with them to get things taken care of. You can have them deal with your onboard account issues. So that's also great that you can chat with them in the app as well.
They're basically the nicest people in the world as well.
Yeah. So we have had a fabulous time sailing concierge. As I said a second ago, it is very expensive as compared to regular staterooms, and Disney is already expensive. So it's not for everyone out there. It is a luxury. You will still have a fabulous time on board Disney Cruise Line, even if you're not sailing in concierge. If you are sailing in concierge, just expect really high-end, elevated experience. We've loved it. I think, Sam, you...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I just did not expect it to be that much better because, as Brian said, the service is so elevated on Disney to begin with. I just did not expect to love it so much. I really have to say, I think afternoon tea is kind of the thing that puts it over the edge for me. Afternoon tea, whenever we've been to London, it's kind of our favorite thing to do. And I feel like the onboard experience with all the afternoon tea variety of stuff is just fantastic. It's amazing.
Yeah, and we have already upgraded several of our sailings to concierge and or 1-bedroom concierge experiences just based on the interactions and service that we have received on this cruise. It's been fantastic. So
not all of them, to be fair, but a lot of them. Yeah.
The service for all, yes.
Oh,
the
yes.
Cruises, no.
I mean, we haven't upgraded every cruise, but
we've not upgraded every cruise. All right. We're hearing the captain's announcements in the background, so they're getting ready to sound the horn, so we're going to end it there. But fabulous experience. If you sail concierge, we think you'll have a fantastic time, but you don't have to have a great time on Disney Cruise Line. All right. See you later.
See ya.